All right, so you've hit that serve over, shot 1. The returns come back, shot 2. Now we're on to shot number 3, the drop. This is one of the toughest shots in pickleball. I'm sure you've hit this many times and it looks something like this, or maybe even worse, it looks something like this. And it's frustrating, and that makes you want to just keep hitting hard. You're hitting drives, you're not hitting the drop, which is gonna leave you stuck. But don't worry, we are here to help you get fast results to hitting a good, consistent drop. And by the end of this video, be sure to stay tuned because we have actionable tips that you'll be able to bring into your game. Let's go. So let's first talk about the goal for the drop. So what we want to do and what we're trying to accomplish when we're hitting a drop is having our opponents hitting the ball from below the level of the net. When they are hitting the ball below the level of the net, it does 2 things. Number 1, it keeps them from being aggressive. And number 2, it gives you time, because they're hitting up, it gives you time to move forward towards the net and get to that kitchen line. All right, when you're hitting your drop, where do we want to aim? Do we want to aim the front third of the kitchen? Do we want to aim in that middle third of the kitchen? Or do we want to aim in the back third of the kitchen? Take a second and answer which spot. If you said the back third, then you're correct. We want to aim in the back third of the kitchen because when we're hitting to that spot, our opponents are still having to hit up, but we take out the error of missing in the net. When we try to aim too short into the kitchen, we bring in missing short into the net, and there's really no advantage to doing so. The other thing is, if I'm aiming for this back third of the kitchen and I miss it a little bit too short, then I miss it in the kitchen and it's still a good shot. And if I miss it a little bit too long, well, the ball's still in, and then you try to do another good shot after that. All right, we talked about where to aim in terms of depth of the kitchen, so forward and back, but let's talk about side to side. So where we want to aim, it typically tends to be the backhand. This number 1 is the weaker shot usually for most of our opponents, but then number 2, it's tougher to attack the backhand. So when you're aiming side to side, pick on that backhand. All right, so we've talked about the goal and where we want to aim with the drop. Now let's talk about the technique, one of the major components for the drop. Now with the drop, we really want to have extremely good accuracy and really good consistency. Now the way we do that is by eliminating any unnecessary movements. We want the drop to be a very compact swing that we can repeat over and over and hit it into that kitchen box. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you 4 clips. I want you to say which technique, which swing is the best. If you said clip number 3, then you're correct. Now, let's break down each one of these swings. So in swing 1, we've got too far of a backswing and then too far of a follow through. What this is gonna do, it's gonna give you good power, but you're gonna have very little control. You're typically gonna miss this too far. Now, swing number 2. In swing number 2, we've got a nice compact backswing. We're not taking it back too far, but we're not following through enough. I see this mistake all the time where people aren't following through enough and they miss all of these shots in the net. Let's skip to swing number 4. Swing number 4 is a mistake I see very often where people take it back really far, but then they just stop. And so there's no control when you do this. Now, the correct swing, swing number 3. In swing number 3, you'll see we've got a nice compact backswing, not taking it back too far. And then we're having a nice, good follow through that's leading us towards our target. We're going out, but we're also going up. So a quick recap on the drop. We want to be short with our swing and we want to be compact. Remember, less is more when it comes to the drop. All right, so we've talked about the basics with the swing. Now let's talk about spin. So there's 2 different types of spin. There's top spin and there's slice. Now top spin is when the ball's moving towards your opponent. The way we get it to move that way is we're brushing over the top of the ball. Now this swing looks more like a low to high motion. This is I call it more of a vertical swing. This is often used with high level players. They'll use the topspin. So if you're just starting out, this may not be what you want to do right away. You may want to try slice. Now slice is when the ball is rotating back towards you. The way that you hit slice is that you come under it with your paddle. And that motion looks a little bit more like a horizontal motion. Think of like you're just plowing through the ball with the paddle. Now again, the slice may be better for someone that's just starting out. Real quick, take a second, smash that like button if you're enjoying this content. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on a single video. Let's get back to it. All right, 2 final tips to leave you with that are gonna help you with your drop. Number 1, we wanna make sure when we're hitting our drop, our momentum is going forward and not back. If we're hitting the drop and we're moving back, then it's so tough to get that ball over the net and be consistent with it. So make sure if you're hitting it, your momentum's moving forward. The second tip is the trajectory of the ball. We don't want that ball going too low as we're hitting this, not like a drive. We want to have a nice arc over the ball. Give yourself margin over the net so that you can make more drops consistently and accurately. All right, the last thing I'll leave you with is a drill, because practice is really what makes perfect. So often people just go out and they play games, which games are great, but if you can drill a little bit, you're gonna get a lot better. So this drill, what we like to do is we start here. You have one partner here at the baseline, you're gonna have a partner at the kitchen. I'm gonna hit a drop, and if I hit a good drop, I'm gonna take a step in. If I hit another good drop, I'm gonna take another step in. And I keep doing this until I make my way to the kitchen line. If I hit a bad drop, and bad meaning too high, please avoid, we wanna avoid missing in the net, because then you can't continue the point. But if you miss it too high, stay in that same spot until you hit a good one, and then you take a step forward. What this works on is you're hitting drops at different areas of the court, which gives you a lot of good feel and practice to improve your drop. Hey, real quick before you go, be sure to check out Carbon in the description below. We got a 10% discount code. Pick up any merch, any paddle. And what's great is if there's a paddle that goes bad, they'll send you a new one, and they'll do it really quick. See you next time.